Southern California, and I don't count. And if I try to deal either with letters or on the telephone with Sacramento, it's like, who? I don't remember that. Can you come down to Sacramento? Now, Sacramento's 4 hours away from Ravendale. I take the time to go there, and it's like, excuse me, who are you? What do you want? No, you can't do that. This is what it is. I said, excuse me, but this is what it says. No, we're sorry, but it doesn't work. You're getting the runaround. Now, when I went to school, I learned that the government is your public servant. You hire them to work for you because you can't be everywhere at once. And now the government is telling me what to do, even on my own property. And that's not right. So I'm asking the board here to please join us and make a better solution to the problems that we have. Thank you so very much for your time.
Alan Schumacher.
Alan Schumacher. I just handed out Follow the Money for the Howlett Jarvis report. And everything has already been set up here, but liberty and being represented is the reason behind this whole movement, and would encourage you to please vote to help us. Thank you.
Go on. M-O-S-T-O-B-O, just like why?
It's a whole Russian alphabet.
I got to help you out with those names. State your name to the...
Hi, I'm Ron Mostovoy. I was born in Wairika, grew up over in Crescent City, spent a little time in Kings County, down in San Joaquin Valley. Transferred here 1997. I've been a resident coming up on 18 years here. I have relatives in Siskiyou County, Del Norte County, Humboldt County, Shasta County, and I reside here. This is not new. There's nothing here new. This started probably back in the late 30s with their grievances to get it up to 1941. Seems to be generational. Right now, we're starting to act. We have a clarion call from 7 other counties right now to join them. Don't let Lassen County be left out. Thank you.
Like Richard Robinson.
Hello, my name is Richard Wilkinson. I live in Redding, California. And before I start, I'd like to commend all 7 of you for your tolerance. But on the Shasta County Board of Supervisors and in the City Council meeting, we've been threatened to be thrown out if we keep clapping when we approve of someone speaking. Anyway, I was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. In 1931, my folks moved to California. I was about 3 years old. I've lived here ever since. I lived in Redding for 25 years, and I've seen this country go into hell, this state. Anyway, I can't imagine why anyone would object to agreeing to form this new state of Jefferson, it's going to be a lot of work, and some people just object to changes and the work that goes along with it. And if you're one of those people who don't like change or all the work that goes with it, then you know you can be replaced in the next election.
June Cooper.
Good morning, Board. I'm certainly glad that you let us do this today. I'm a California citizen, and I was born in California, and I've been in California most all of my life. I have seen California go down the tubes really fast. In the last 3 or 4 years, it's really been bad. I think that if you'll give us all a chance to stand up for the state of Jefferson and see how it works, what can we lose? We're already losing everything we've got anyway. So why don't we just stand together and try to make this thing work? Thank you.
Joe Murray Miller.
Hi, my name is Joe Marie Miller, and I live in Janesville. I was born in Susanville and raised in Greenville, and spent a good portion of my life out of this county, but we came back in 1997. That's what we did. And anyway, I can't see any representation or any use of our taxes here in this county or in the northern rural counties. Everything that's done is done for the cities. I mean, the fire tax and the cement laws and all that stuff. We have to tear things out just to get the cement laws that were passed by the South State. I'm for everybody. What everybody has said is absolutely true. We need the representation. We would be very grateful to this board if they would support us in this effort and go to the table and help us make the state of Jefferson, because the time has come.
Mark Baird.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having us here again. And first thing, I just want to applaud your efforts with the veterans issue. This is what Alex de Tocqueville called the greatest form of government in the world, and that's the county. And the reason it's great is because you represent the people that are here in the room looking back at you. And I'm honored and I'm awed. I think this is a fantastic place, a fantastic venue, and you're doing a great job. I'm also a veteran. I was a pig man in Vietnam. That's not a farmer's term, it's a machine gunner. And I flew after that in 5 wars for a military contract airline into Somalia, into Bosnia twice for 2 different governments, and Iraq twice, Afghanistan. I've been to the Sudan, all those places. And one thing that I know, excuse me, one thing that I know from all of those flights is that representation must be present or government doesn't work. We need checks and balances. Government works with checks and balances. California, and I was speaking to Supervisor Chapman before, because the history of this stuff is extremely difficult to get to the source documents. But from around 1930 or so, California had a federal model of government, and it worked because there was a check on power from the urban centers by the Senate. The Senate was a body that represented more of the rural counties, and the Assembly was a body that represented more of the urban counties. And it worked because there had to be compromise because of those checks and balances. And I'm going to keep this brief because, God bless you, your patience is boundless here. But what we're trying to do with the state of Jefferson is restore checks and balances in a federal model of government where every county has a state senator and at least one assembly person. Issues are issues. They're going to be here before Jefferson. They're going to be here after. But we have a hope of good government through compromise when we have checks and balances, and that is a county that has a state senator and the urban areas represented by the assembly the way they are now. That was changed with Reynolds versus Sims. Fortunately for us, the court went on to ignore itself twice afterwards with the Brown case and the two-layer water case, which opens the door for us to provide a government with a state senator for each county, provided it furthers a greater state interest and it's not done prejudicially. That's the legal basis for doing what we're doing. However, we need standing. We need a seat at the table so that we can demand a different form of representation, and this declaration is the only plan I know of now to get that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for everything.
Rhonda Burton.
Good morning. My name is Rhonda Perkins, and I would just like to say that I support the state of Jefferson, and I ask you to support it also. Thank you.
Richard Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, Richard Parker, local resident. Family settled the valley in the 1870s with 11th, built the water irrigation system we currently have. My main point, maybe you guys can tell me what percentage we have their general fund as opposed to everything else. Roughly, what is that? The general fund 10% of the total or 15%? What I'm saying is the general fund that you have control over to do with is only 10 or 15% of the total. So you're spending 85% of your time doing what the state of California tells you to do, right? All the mandated laws coming down, everything you guys are, you're basically an implement of the state government enforcing their will. And I think it's pretty sad, and I really think we should support the state of Jefferson. It's hopefully a way for us to have some freedom to get out from underneath a dogmatic government. Thank you.
Corey Keeling.
My name is Corey Keeling. Family's been in California over 150 years. Our founding fathers risked their lives, their wealth, everything to found this country. God bless them for doing that. We have a chance right now to make history. We have a chance right now to do basically what they did in founding a new state and getting our life and our liberty back in order. I was a contractor for 23 years in the state. They basically pushed me out of business. Massive taxation, overbuilding on everything from OSHA to state fund, to this, that, and the other, every code, everything. It was a joke. I now work at High Desert State Prison. Not my preferred job. It's not where I want to be. We have a chance now, like I said, to make history. We also have a chance to regulate our own laws in this state, regulate our own, the way anything's ran, our timber, our water, everything. I hope you guys take that chance. Let's make history. Let's do this. It's that simple.
Mary Beth Laguna.
My name's Mary Beth Laguna, and I live in Janesville. I just came back from spending a week in Sacramento where I discovered that they're getting ready to vote for a $50+ tax, additional tax, that will be applied to our vehicle registrations to pay for roads on top of the, 80-something cents we already paid. We will have no say over this. They're going to vote, and they'll expect that it will pass. And I'm asking you to support Jefferson so that we can step away from this and hopefully be able to use our own money for our own things. Thank you.
Vice Chair Ron Darnett.
Stars.
Greg.
Pastor Ron Starnes. As you can tell, I'm not from California. I moved here 4 years ago. But I love this place. But when I told people I was coming to California, they said, what? They think of San Francisco, LA, Hollywood. I said, no, you don't understand. I said, these people are God-fearing. They love their guns. They love their liberty. They like we are back in Tennessee. If you want to know how conservative we are, look at your last election. Was any Republican. Now, I'm not saying all Republicans are conservative, but I am saying that you can tell by the way that people voted how conservative they are. One thing I've realized of being here and being active in the community, I don't know how many CEOs that I have known personally who said, I can't wait to retire to get out of California. Why is everybody wanting to get out of California? That ought to tell you something in itself. If we created a conservative state, can you imagine the people that would want to move into California, into the state of Jefferson? Nobody wants to be in California. In fact, there's more people leaving than coming in. Everything started back when? Spotted Owl. They shut that water down in the San Joaquin Valley. I mean, it's over and over and over and over again. Our rights come from God. And when, God appointed the state to do one thing, two things actually, to punish evil and to promote good. But when the state becomes God and they get into everybody's thing, they begin to tell you what's moral, what's not moral. They'll begin to tell me for long what I can say from my pulpit and what I can't. That's what happens when the state becomes God and you take God out of society and you put state in control. Then they dictate everything from labor to you name it. And that's where we're at. It's time for us to form a state that is conservative, that people will want to come to, not want to leave. Thank you for your time.
Midnight Tenebron.
Good morning. My name is Midnight Tenenbaum. I live right here in Susanville. And I just go to my record. I'm a Democrat. I don't own a gun. And I'm hella in favor of the state of Jefferson. It's to come up here, and there's probably a lot of people out there that are in favor that don't have, want to come up here. So I'd like to ask everybody that's in favor of the state of Jefferson, could you just stand up for a moment and clap?
Tom Muller.
Good morning, Board. I'm from Tehama County. I'm a lifelong resident of Tehama County for 76 years. I'm not here to bring Tehama County problems here before this board. I'm here just to share some experiences living in Northern California all of my life. I would like to talk about our precious commodity, our kids in school, and Common Core compliance to get any money from the federal government. And that goes along with private schools. If you've got a private school and you have
federal funding, you have to be common core compliance. Does anybody remember when California schools were cherished and raved all around the world? And God was in it. And the counties ran the schools, the individual counties. And we had the best school system in the world. Now we're at the bottom. That's not good for our kids. You know, and I would like to also say that being from Tama County, we're already signed up for the state of Jefferson, and there hasn't been any bad negative effect to our county. Nobody's coming after us for doing this. You know, you have nothing to lose. There's a small army here ready to work for you. All we need for you to say yes. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Thank you.
Al Nixon.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, my name is Hal Nixon. I live in Lassen County. I've been a resident here for 20 years. I was born and raised in California, Redding. Love this state, but the longer I'm here, the less welcome I feel because of what happens down below Colusa County line. And all my kids have grown up and moved away because there's nothing here for them. They think like me, they're conservative, but they don't want to be part of this mess that Sacramento shoves down our throat all the time. The progressive movement of Sacramento is to stick their nose in everybody's life. And they've stuck their nose in mine. I have a friend who was a lobbyist for the Auto Wreckers Association in Sacramento for 2 years. He's my next door neighbor in Chico. And he said he left it because they were so corrupt that it was frightening. You could not get a bill on the legislator's desk in Sacramento without having an envelope underneath it with 20 grand cash. That's the only way they'll look at your laws. They don't represent us up there. They don't listen to us up there. They completely take advantage of us and the beautiful resources we have. And it's my conviction that if we get this government out of our life, this new state of Jefferson will explode with prosperity. People will love to come here and work, come here and do business, come here and start business, and our kids will come back. Thank you very much.
Rebecca Owen.
I am Rebecca Owen, and I am thank you for letting me speak. I'm a conservative. I do not like California because the money we tax to the government goes to the other people running the bureaucracies or like agencies that want us. We are should be a free people and not like other found for the side. And I am love history, love for the Texan. I just don't like what's going on. That's all.
Darwin, Philip.
name's Darwin Solis. I'm a resident of Susanville for 39 years and a resident of Northern California, coming from Siskiyou County in Wairika, from where I was born. My wife was too. I'm a fifth generation Northern Californian, but I'm not so sure I want to be called a Californian anymore. Candidly, it just ticks me off when San Francisco calls themselves Northern California. They don't have a clue. I would love to see our Board of Supervisors step up to the table here and be part of this. You can step out anytime you want, but don't get dropped off the table now. It's too important. This movement is going to continue. It has to continue. We have no representation in the state of California. It's a one-party state that doesn't represent us at all. Our tax dollars leave, and we get very little in return except not treated very well. We're not respected as the way we should be, and we're not represented the way we should be. I did happen to print a little something that was interesting the other day, so I'll take just a moment to see it. This is a survey that was done by an organization, the John Locke Foundation, that came out with a Freedom Index for the United States. And it compares the ranks and relative freedoms of all 50 states in the nation. The most significant considerations in this was fiscal policy, 50%. Regulatory policies and education were given 20% each, and healthcare received 10% each. The best free state, or the least free states in the nation, New York, New Jersey, and California. Fiscal policy, California was 49th out of 50. Regulatory freedom, we're last, 50th. That's unacceptable. We need to have Lassen County as part of the state of Jefferson and working towards to represent us. Thank you very much.
Joseph Turner.
Could I make a suggestion? While Joseph is walking up here, could you call the next person and they can be ready right behind them? And then it would...
Good idea, but I got one left.
Lassen County Board of Supervisors, thank you very much, especially for this being on my lunch hour. So it allows me to actually break away so I can actually come do this on my time. And I didn't have time. That's why I wrote those letters previously. I didn't think I was going to have the opportunity. But fortunately, the timing worked out well. I wanted to primarily ask you guys to look deep down inside and consider personal courage when dealing with the state of Jefferson. I deployed to Afghanistan in 2012 with our local Army National Guard unit. This specific patch is one that myself and one of my best friends who deployed with me, who's here now, we had made while we were there. And we wore it whenever we were out on mission. We weren't supposed to, but we did anyways. And it was one thing, a great experience for us to learn and reflect on our freedoms and our passions and everything. And especially with this issue, the California Constitution is quite clear with Article 2, Section 1 says, all political power is inherent in the people. Government is instituted for their protection, security, and benefit. And they have the right to alter or reform it when the public good may require. As far as personal courage, we have a lot of family and friends who work in the prison system who are concerned about their jobs. Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution says their jobs are protected because of the contracts. We're not allowed to break contracts. And as far as personal courage, for being concerned about your jobs, I can't go into detail, but I'm dealing with reprisal for carrying on my community and trying to be involved in my community and trying to educate the community and trying to do things to better improve the community. And I'm still here. So with that said, as far as anybody who's concerned, I have a great deal of concern about mine going forward. I have injuries that are lingering from Afghanistan, and if I'm unable to go through the proper process to secure my future livelihood, I'm screwed. But I care, so I want to come up here and I want to speak up about that as far as the courageous aspect of it. There are those of us we sincerely believe actually doing the right thing regardless of what